puzzle of the Berkeley Riot, which was last week when there was a protest and Milo, somebody or other, was scheduled, but then the Berkeley police were concerned for his safety, and the event got canceled. But then there was a protest anyway, and from nowhere, a group of about 150 outside non-students arrived, and there was this riot. It's all a puzzle, but I kind of like puzzles. It's mathematics. To me, it's mathematics. In mathematics, it's all taught all wrong because it's all a hurry-up thing. That you've got a test, you got a 50-minute test, and there's intense pressure. But mathematics used to be a leisure time activity, and I've got plenty of that at the moment, leisure time. So to ponder different things is a nice pastime. Another book I recommended, Mathematics for the Non-Mathematician by Morris Klein, where he goes into these different mathematical concepts with no big hurry, no clock ticking in 50 minutes, and if you don't pass the test, you will fail. Math is taught all wrong. It's originally was a way to relax. But the Berkeley Riot, it's a puzzle. And another puzzle happened 25 years ago. In April 1992, the Los Angeles riots.
East of this scene, and he's driving eastbound. I'm going right over the top of him, so I'm going to lose him now, but it's the first law enforcement activity I've seen out here.
They obviously have thought about this. They anticipated this, they meaning the LAPD. They obviously have plans to deal with it. And as we said before, they've allocated $1 million to overtime in case things like this happen. So they are obviously carrying out a thought out plan.
So in the Los Angeles riots of 1992, again, there was an outside force which worked behind the scenes to stir up people and help propel a riot, at least according to Fred Solani, who worked as a federal intelligence agent. At least according to him, he worked for the office of U.S. Congressman John Dingell. Solani was interviewed for public access television in Los Angeles, and that interview was later rebroadcast on the late Sherman Skolnick's television program Broadsides in Chicago. And what Solani said was, as the Rodney King trial started to wind down to the end, about 10 days before the verdict, it was obvious there was going to be a not guilty verdict against the police officers videotaped beating Mr. King. So Solani went on to say, what we did was we started going into the black community and started contacting the black youth. We concentrated on 3 areas, what we called the Samoan Crip area, the poorer section of Long Beach, the Rolling 30s, Rolling 60s, Rolling 90s Crips, which is another black gang, and last, on something called the 8 Tray Gangster Crips. And we ended up getting the best response out of the 8 Tray Gangster Crips. What we started doing, said Solani, was going in there before the Rodney King verdict and distributing cash, crack cocaine, and weapons. So there was an outside force. And again, in Berkeley last week, what began as a peaceful protest was ruined by what Berkeley police called a group of about 150 masked agitators who came onto campus and interrupted an otherwise non-violent protest. The estimated 150 goons were outside protesters, according to report. And I'll usually within 24 hours I'll have my Heirs to Moose blog, a blog post to accompany this video, which will give you the sources on this. And in the description, I'll try and remember to put a link to Heirs to Moose blog, and within about 24 hours you can read into this more if you want to. On now here's where the theories start, okay? And this is where we leave the area of mathematics, which is more grounded. I mean, we know that there was about 150 outside agitators, not Berkeley students, that suddenly entered the scene. And it's like with the LA riots in 1992, there was also an outside force behind the riot. But here we get to the theories. On CNN Thursday, UC Berkeley professor and former Democratic Secretary of Labor Robert Reich suggested the anti-Trump riots on campus were actually a right-wing plot to delegitimize liberals. Now that's a theory, all right? And as long as we're theorizing, I've got another theory, is that the outside agitators were brought in to ensure that the media focused attention on the protest and made sure that it got a wide distribution in the news. So those are theories. Again, we leave the solid ground of facts and we go into theories. I was there for part of last night, said Robert Reich, and I know what I saw, and those people were not Berkeley students, Reich said. Those people were outside agitators. I have never seen them before. So apparently Reich is a professor now at UC Berkeley, and that's more in the realm of fact, that he's saying those people were outside protesters, outside agitators, not Berkeley students. And so someone seems to have organized the Berkeley riot, but then Reich theorizes about it, and then there's the counter theory. But at this point, it's a puzzle, the puzzle of the Berkeley riot.